Steve, he's able to get everything on his computer. So thanks again, Steve. You rock. He's our web guy and everything else. Right hand person, and probably you're actually more in command than I am. So that's good. So tonight we've got a whole lot of things going on. We're going to try to do a hybrid thing again, like usual. And we've also got an incredible guest speaker. I met Jeff at a breakfast, and we started talking. And then he wound up meeting some of my friends, the Ramakega girls. So it was a phenomenal bunch of artists. And we got to find out more about what it takes to be a real serious artist in this industry and everything else. And then Jeff was mentioning his book. Now, he did a couple of books, actually. And he gave me one that was really cool. It's a collection of humor, which I think is what he did again, right? With pandemic humor. And even though this is not a funny time, there are things that are humorous. And sometimes we got to lighten it up a little bit because otherwise we just die. So it's all good. So let's bring up Jeff and he can mention real quick what he's all about and everything else. We'll start listening to your stuff. We've got how many people online so far, Steve? 10?
Something like that. Yeah.
So we've got about 10 people online as well. So we've got a lot of stuff to listen to. How many things we got?
About a dozen. Maybe a few more. Yeah.
All right. Yay. All right. So everybody give it for Jeff.
Thanks, everybody. See some friendly faces and faces that I haven't even seen. And well, hold on. I was being gentle. Always great to be in Jimmy's house. I call it Jimmy's house because I don't really know if it's his house, but it's his house tonight. So, as Jimmy said, I have two books that just recently came out. One is called The Pandemic Side Effects. Pardon my French. It's the shit that makes no sense to me that has been caused by the pandemic. For example, when you go to a bank now, there's a little sign on the front door that says no mask, no money. That makes no sense to me, right? A year and a half ago, it would have been a slightly different story, right? Or my favorite, which is, why should I drive 7 minutes to the market and buy a half a gallon of milk for $3.18 when for an extra $28.50 I can have it delivered right to my front door? That makes no sense to me. So the book is called, like I said, Pandemic Side Effects, and I want to give every one of you a copy as my gift and Jimmy's gift to you. If for some reason you don't think it's funny and you don't like it, give it to someone you don't like.
I gotta get one more.
And if that can't happen, remember, no refunds. All gifts are final. So I have another book that is a hardcover book. It is, I guess you could say, a continuation of my brand, which is this one is called You Sound Amazing, Every Lie of the Music. And it's filled with all of the nonsense that we're mostly akin to. And every joke and every story, I was talking with Joanne and I mentioned that there's truth and tragedy in every joke. So, you know, when you meet other songwriters and you meet other musicians, you know, it's a huge family. And we know that when we meet each other, it's not just for today or tomorrow. Those relationships, for better or for worse, last a long time. I'm proud about that. You know, I really am. You know, I look at you and I look at the musicians I work with, and I look at, you know, guys that I know and love, and we're never going to stop knowing each other or being a part of our community. And that's the real benefit of our business. You know, I've answered for myself the question, which comes first, the singer or the song? It's always the song. It's never the singer. A great singer and a bad song is a bad song. A good song and a mediocre singer can be really good. So I'm really a believer of songwriters as, you know, the core foundation of everything that we do. And I gotta be honest, for every 1,000 songs I listen to for an artist, if I find 3, I won the lottery. You know, that's nothing against songwriters and things like that, but I'm looking for a song as it relates to an artist that I'm working with. And I'll tell you a small story. Can I get a bottle of water? Sure. You know, thanks, Jimmy. I have a longtime friend. Her name is Barbara Weathers, and maybe you remember the group Atlantic Stars. Okay, she did all their big hits, you know, the platinum selling hits, and you know she lives in North Carolina, and years and years ago she joined the band when she was 21 years old, and she did everything you would expect. She signed a power of attorney, and, you know, so that they could deposit money in her account and all that stuff. And a few, I guess it was a year or 2 later, she went to the manager of the band and said, you know, I'm not getting the money that I'm supposed to get. And the manager said, oh, let's talk to the band. Can everybody hear me? Am I coming? You can't hear me? Well, I've got at least 3 dozen seats, right? No. I'll try to speak louder. So the band said she pointed out that the business manager was stealing her money. The band refused to acknowledge that, so she said, I'm quitting the band. And the manager said, you know what, she's right. The band's manager, the business manager, is stealing her money. So she left, they fired him. That group was formed in that manager's garage, and they fired him. And years and years later, she gets a call from somebody who says, you know, we need to know, where are we sending this check for this TV thing? And she was astonished to find out that, am I anyway?
No, I'm just gonna leave it.
Yeah. So basically, the business manager had been stealing her money, and there was a show on TV a few years ago, and as it turns out, she was reluctant to tell the story, and as it turned out, the business manager was stealing money from everyone in the band. Apparently, he had a woman pose as Barbara, go into the bank, you know, do all these things. She had a balance of $300,000 that she never even knew she had, and it's been incredible. But the reason why I'm telling you this long-winded story is to tell you, alrighty then, is to tell you that picking a song for Barbara probably is the most complicated thing I've ever done. Why? She doesn't know who her father is. Her mother lied to her and continues to lie to her. Told her that her father was shot in the backseat of a Chevrolet shortly after her birth. And she has spent the last, 30 or 40 years trying to find out who her father is. And so when you don't have the greatest relationship with your mother, you don't know who your dad is, you know, it kind of wears on you. She doesn't think of herself as a whole person, is what I'm saying. So then you join this amazing band, and they do this amazing, I mean, if you've heard of Atlantic Star, they're amazing. You know, in their time, they were huge. And she was signing contracts. She didn't know what she was signing. She was signing deals. She didn't know what she was doing. But she was 21, you know, and Warner Brothers says, sign here. What are you going to say? Can I send it to my lawyer? No. So That's what she should have done, but it didn't happen that way. So, okay, so I have an artist who is in 100% turmoil 100% of the time, right? You would never know it though, because she's the sweetest, nicest, most wonderful person. And you would think, oh, okay, what about a great love song? She doesn't like people. She feels that they've, you know, hurt her in so many ways. So love songs are out, right? And well, she doesn't like truck songs, so nothing in country works for her. And you know, I'm trying my hardest to find something to augment her own writing, you know, because she's a decent writer and she's getting better all the time. So I ran across a song from an artist in England named Rumor. You know, I'm sure maybe some of you know of her. And the song was called Aretha. And the lyric was about a girl who tried desperately to speak to her mother, but her mother was always fighting or crying whenever she was approaching her. The only solace she had was her Walkman. Remember Walkman? So on her way to school, she would sing to Aretha Franklin, who was listening to her in her Walkman. And it was the only way that she could express her despair. And I found that song and I thought, oh my goodness, this might work. As soon as she heard it, that was it. You know, the relatability of a song to an artist is one thing, but it also doesn't have anything to do whether the song is good or bad. It's whether that shoe fits. And that's really, really difficult. I'm working with a singer from the Philippines, and you know, she just wants to do covers. And I'm thinking, well, let me try to find a song for you that I think might work. She's very shy, you know, really, really shy. Never met an artist that's so shy. And I think it's because she doesn't believe in herself as much as I do. And you know, I found a song that I cannot remember right now, and played it for her, and it worked. I think that what's great about songwriting is if you hear it, you know it. If you're an artist, you hear it, you know it. And if, you know, the hardest job for me is to explain to an artist that your songs aren't good enough for your record, right? You know, but that's what a producer has to do, is to say, look, these songs are developing nicely, but they're not good enough for you. I'm working with an artist in Australia, a young girl right now, and we meet weekly. And she started off writing songs because she wanted to write songs. 2 years later, we're still in pre-production, because I will not let anyone go in the studio until they're ready. And because I want them to look great. I want them to be the best version of themselves. I don't care how long it takes. We meet every week. She has a new song for me every 2 or 3 weeks, and we go over it and we discuss it. And I want to find out why she wrote it. I want to find out what the motivation was. And you know, the minute she becomes happy, I get pissed at her. Hard to write songs when you're happy. I know you're looking at me cross-eyed, but it is true. It's very hard. And of course there are plenty of exceptions, but you know, a lot of times the ideas come out of sadness, despair, you know, all those things, you know. And I always wonder what the next version of Adele is going to be, because she's very happy, you know. I mean, she came to fame writing all those songs when, you know, she was in a different place. So I'm looking forward to that. And please, you can disagree with me, and I'm happy that you would, you know. So in my world, songwriting is the most gratifying, the most difficult, and really, it's finding a needle in a mound of needles. You know what I mean? It's really difficult. So I want to let you know what I'm doing now. For some reason, the way that I operate, I seem to be busier now than ever before in my entire career. And that's like 40 years worth of nonsense. So I'm trying to figure out why that is. And the only thing I can come up with is I don't change the artist. I just make them the best version of themselves. We don't cater to radio. We don't cater to labels. We don't, I mean, I do speeches all over the country, and my most popular seminar is, if you sign a major label record deal, your career is over, and I can prove it. And I can prove it. You know, there are people who still think that major labels are the holy grail of the record business. And I have to explain that if you were to start a label yourself, which only takes approximately 4 seconds, if you sold a CD for $10, you would get the $10. If you are on a major label and you sold a CD for 10 cents, you would be guaranteed at least $1. The record company would take $1, would take that $9 or $8.50 and pocket it, and then moan to you on how bad you're doing. So right now, whenever somebody asks me, okay, so I've signed a major label deal, and what do I do now? Because the budget's $250,000. Right? My first comment would be, don't make the record with the money. Take the money, but don't make the record with the money. Okay, isn't that called theft? Wait. With that money, buy the best microphones, the best outboard gear, the best console or digital workstation, the best everything that you can possibly find with that money. Spend every penny of it. And then make the record with the new gear that you just bought, whether it's instruments or whatever, because if you use the money to go and rent a studio and hire musicians and do all that stuff, you're out of money. When the label drops you, which they will, what have you got? Well, if you spent that money on the studio and you hired a great engineer like Kenji to do your records, then you've got something you can use for the rest of your life. You know, there's no stopping you. I spend so much of my time telling artists that a major record company, their business model does not include your success. Their business model encourages shareholder value. So if we think of an artist like a microphone, for example, if this microphone doesn't sell, you can be assured that the stores will send it back. A new microphone will appear magically in its place, as it should, right? Same thing with artists. The difference is artists are living, breathing things. They're creatures. They could, this is not just a piece of gear. This has a heart and a soul. Or I hope it has a heart and soul. Anyway, so therein lies the challenge. And I was in negotiations with Sony for one of my artists who was on a competition television show. Which is another, you want to know more about that world, let me explain. If everybody knew what was really going on in The Voice and American Idol, it would be amazing. And Sony said to us in a meeting, do you realize that we're going to have everyone at Sony work exclusively on your record? I'm listening to this and I said, wait, oh, time out. Are you listening to you? Because I have never heard as much bullshit from a major label in such a short period of time. You know, no, really, we're going to work exclusively on this record. And I'm thinking, and I'm begging the artist to walk. You know, I'm saying there is, and I looked at the contract. It's 40 pages of 2 columns of really small print on each page. It's almost like they're throwing the gauntlet down, saying, I bet you're not going to read this. But I read it, and there's not one clause in there that says that obligates Sony to the artist. There's not one. Sony doesn't have to do a thing, but there's plenty of things that an artist owes Sony, right?
And it's just astonishing. That's when I started thinking, well, wait a minute, what is the value? And here's the tragedy. Artists are now thinking that if they're on Sony, when they get dropped, they can always say they were a Sony artist. Why would you think that the exposure that you think you're going to get from a major label is going to enhance your career after you've been dumped? So this type of thinking is foreign to me. It doesn't make any sense. So continuing on with the Sony thing, we're sitting there and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is a disaster. I don't even understand it. So the Sony sends me a letter and sends the artist a letter saying, since we're obviously going, this is in writing, since we're obviously going to spend much more money marketing and promoting your record, we would appreciate it if you would pay the recording costs. So my comment was, fantastic. What are you going to do? Show me, put it in the contract. What are you going to do? You said you were going to do it. What are you going to do? We can't tell you. So wait a minute. You put it in writing, you're going to spend more money, much more money than the record would cost. So want us to pay for the recording costs? I'm good with that. All you have to tell me is, A, how much money you're spending and what are you spending it on? If you're spending it on, Elvis Presley blow-up toys that you can use in your pool, I don't really think that's a relevant expense for us to have to repay. They wouldn't put it in the contract. They wouldn't tell us anything they're doing. So I'm thinking to myself, can we please go now? Is this not horrific enough? And the artist says, I'll tell you what, the points are bad. The deal is bad. The term is bad. All I want is a one-time, 1 hour meeting with the marketing department at Sony so that we can just simply coordinate my performances and my touring with the release of the record. Makes total sense, right? So the guy at Sony said, my favorite phrase, we're Sony, that's what we would do. Don't say that, because what you say you're going to do and what you actually do is night and day. So he said, Jeff, write it up, because I had a law degree and I get fun with these. So I wrote 2 sentences. A one-time, 1 hour meeting with the marketing department at Sony in New York. The artist commits to paying his own expenses. You don't have to do anything. And I 2 sentences, real simple. And then, came back, Jeff, we can't really guarantee that one-time meeting. I'll tell you what, they said this to me. We did put in best efforts because we're going to use best efforts to make that happen. Best efforts is a scientific term that means whatever you're asking for, it's not going to happen, and we're not going to be penalized for it not happening. And I once again said to the artist, can we go now? Can we please go now? The only thing we got out of this is free parking. Can we go now? And, that's the challenge of a major label. They're just, oh, do you guys know that in every major label contract, there's a clause that says, hey, we're going to give you X amount of dollars and you can put out the record. We're going to, you can make the record. We're going to love it. We don't have to release it ever. So let's just follow that for a second. You signed an exclusive agreement with Sony. They've given you $250,000. Hallelujah. You've made an amazing record. And it's on the shelf. They don't tell you why it's on the shelf. They just say, well, maybe soon. You signed exclusive to someone. You can't go anywhere else. They gave you $250,000. You don't have that much money to buy yourself out of the contract. So what happened? Your career is over. You can't go anywhere. Can't do anything. They haven't violated their contract by putting you in this, and you don't know why. But I'll tell you, there's a couple of reasons. One is maybe they need a tax deduction, but the most common reason is maybe there's somebody on their label that they've spent a ton of money on that isn't as good as you. And they know that the second you're out there, nobody's going to want that artist anymore. So like any company that wants to eliminate the competition, they simply buy the competition and shelve it, which is the same as what any major label does. You know, it's good business for them. I mean, it just makes sense. So when I hear all those guys are, I say, wait, if you know their business model, you can't be upset at them because their job is to make money for them. Your job is to level the playing field and make it so that the leverage at some point shifts. Right now, they don't need you, they don't need you, they don't need you. But at some point, you're going to make a lot of money for them, possibly, possibly not, possibly. And then they will be your lapdogs. There's another word that I should have used starting with a B, but I mean, esteemed company. So they will be your lapdogs. And all of a sudden, the royalty will skyrocket, the advances will skyrocket, all of this stuff happens. But it's like that with every label because the business model doesn't include you. Now, thankfully, songwriters are the only smart group of people in the record business because they have lobbyists. So there's rules. There's, you know, royalty rules, statutory rules. Can you imagine 7 artists getting together and trying to decide something with all their managers and their agents standing in the way going like this? It's not going to happen. That's why we're the only country in the world that doesn't pay artists for their airplay because we can't get it together. It's hilarious. And that is because at some point, artists decide to make music for money. And then once we've crossed that dangerous point, there's no going back. And that's why you have companies like Warner Brothers buying artificial intelligence companies to kind of troll the internet for what they can feel that the algorithm represents the next best thing. The only thing algorithm has done for me is to confirm that 2 + 2 = 4. But when you're interviewing an accountant, that's not even true. So, you know, there's a lot of weirdnesses in our business, but I have fun with it. I really do. And I think that the way we make our records, mostly live to 2 tracks with no mixing, editing, or overdubbing, or live to multi-track, capturing the performance rather than manufacturing it is what I like to do. And I think if we plan it right and do it right, it's exhilarating. And it's dangerous, you know, because you're asking a lot of everyone. But that's why you try to get the best musicians on the planet, you know, and it doesn't really cost a lot of money to get the finest players, the finest studio, you know. And I will go to my death saying real musicians playing real music in real time is the way to go. Now, I'm not ignoring stems because they're a very important component of what we're doing. Pre-record stems are a very important part of what I'm doing. Okay. But at the same time, we use them judiciously. We replace the parts where we need to. We don't, you know, a song lives. Sometimes the musicians want to sit back on it a little, move ahead a little bit. That doesn't happen in the box. Okay. Doesn't give much flexibility. So I'm one of those guys that just really loves the feel, the way a song feels, the way an artist feels when they deliver the song. And by the way, I'm probably the only guy that I go up to each musician and I show them the chart. These are like top call guys, session guys, really great players. And I say, here's the chart. Please don't play this because I hired you to be you. Okay. So if you hear something, if you see something, if the chart doesn't make sense to you, don't ask permission, change it, fix it, be you on this. You know, if we wanted somebody to play the ink, we could go to a great music school and have those guys do it. That's not what we're about. You know, we brought all these great people to have what I call combustible creativity, when it becomes fire, you know. And to my singer, I always say the same thing: make big mistakes. The bigger mistakes, the better. If you understand, well, I want to be perfect. I want to, you know, I'm going to rehearse. I say that is an illusion. Your version of perfection is a lot different than maybe somebody else's. So, we still happening?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
we want to start playback soon because we got a couple guys from the East Coast.
Okay. So you want me to cut it?
How'd you get to the end of that sentence?
Do you think I remember?
You weren't done.
So
Continue, continue.
where was I?
Combustible creativity.
There you
Yeah.
go. Very good.
Combustible creativity is when people get together and they make music because they feel they listen to each other. When you make music, like everyone seems to be doing in their own place, in their own studio and everything, they have themselves to feed on. And a lot of times that's good because, but I'm not sure how great it is if a musician isn't inspired by those who are playing with him. You know, it's an amazing thing that happens. And at the end, when it's all over and everybody, you know, musicians, they'll play, and then everybody will look in the control room, right? And they'll want to know what's going on. And I'm thinking to myself, two things. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. That's number one. That's amazing. We're done. And number two is, dare I say, let's do one more now that we've got it? Which is the stupidest thing on the planet. Let's do a safety. You know, we got it now, you know? And so it's really magical, you know, and I'm a big fan of errors, you know, because then we get the chart fixed, we get the humanity of the song, you know, recorded. I film everything, I take pictures. I want all this. I want the artist to realize what a special moment has happened. And, you know, that's how I make my records, you know. So maybe I should zip the lip for a while and maybe take some questions.
Yeah, in fact, what I'm thinking is we can listen to the stuff and then you can comment on it and we can ask questions around the songs that get presented.
Okay.
Okay, so Steve, how do we do this? Maybe I should let you just do this.
Oh, by the way, while you're figuring it out, let me give
Oh, okay,
everyone my book. Is that okay?
sure.
And for the guys that aren't actually in the room, sorry. Hope I brought it up.
Go to leave full screen. Pop up and go to the top.
There's another. Yes. Thank you very much.
10 seconds to read the whole thing.
Thank you. 10 seconds. Oh, yeah, I see why I said that.
Sure.
Share screen, share.
That'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Thank you, sir.
It's just fun. It's just not-
You gotta put them all on your desktop, I guess. Oh, okay.
All right,
All right,
here you guys.
So
okay. Oh, thank you.
Now, if you're interested in my
Only
other book, this is
Okay.
this is how I feel on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I guess I can track this.
I have 4 copies of these. Unfortunately, I can't give these away because I do have a publisher. And so this book is $30 and it's already signed, but it's not personalized. So if anybody wants, I brought 4 copies, so wasn't sure. Most of the time. And it's got lots of cartoons. I even have a glossary of terms for people that are interested in music
All right,
that
I can't track this.
aren't necessarily understanding. Like, for example, everybody in this room understands what perfect pitch is, right?
Yeah.
My definition is a little better, more scientific. My definition of perfect pitch is the ability to throw a clarinet into the toilet without hitting the rim.
It's in the book.
It's
Yeah, I'm using Mac for something.
so
So we're looking for Jason Trachtenberg first.
Okay.
I was kind of,
Do it with a mouse.
my publisher is in West Virginia and they don't promote books. So I went on Amazon and I saw some of the reviews and one of them said, as a creative type, us singers are kind of a quirky people. And then
Which
she
one's the
said,
audio? This is the audio here?
but I learned something. There's something very wrong with Jeff Weber. Can you tell?
Then share screen.
I love that.
This is the
Hey,
wrong-
listen,
wrong song.
there's blurbs on this book, and one of the blurbs is from a New York Times bestselling author and Pulitzer Prize winner. And, he knows the title of the book is "You Sound Amazing: Every Lie of the Music Business." And his blurb was, "Jeff Weber's been lying to me for years, so he knows what he's talking about." It's the greatest ever. So have fun with it. If it isn't fun, it isn't worth it. Okay.
Okay, so this should be working.
It's got lots of purchases.
Lyrics.
So lots of
Would you like me to
people that
or
are interested
compliment
I
it?
like that. Okay, I can just
aren't
see-
necessarily understanding, like, for example,
Stop it.
everybody in this
How do I
room
get this?
understands what perfect pitch
Can
is,
you tell us just a
right?
little bit about yourself?
My definition is a little better, more scientific. My definition.
Oh, sure.
of perfect pitch is
So,
to throw a clarinet into the
I've been
toilet.
producing records for 40 years. I've done about 200 records so far, and I have my records have multiple Grammys, multiple Grammy nominations, and I also produce
Okay.
It's really,
large-scale multi-day music festivals.
my publisher
The next one
is in West Virginia.
in Santa Barbara in October of next year.
They don't promote
And
books.
hopefully we're
So I went on Amazon and I saw some of the reviews and one of them said,
it's looking very
as a creative type, us singers are
Yeah,
kind of
we're ready.
quirky people.
Yeah.
And then.
The first
and then
song
she
is
said,
Jason Trachtenberg.
I
New
learned
York.
something. There's
Song is
something
called
very
Your
wrong
Winner.
with Jeff Weber.
Can
you tell?
Do we have lyric sheets or?
Yeah, that's the lyric sheet, but I can't really.
I love that. Okay, so I can go over there and look
Yeah,
at
you
it,
can
right?
go over and look at
You know, I
it. This is
mean,
the
hey,
wrong-
listen.
wrong song. Okay,
There's blurbs on this book, and
I can
one
see
of the blurbs is from a New York Times bestselling author and Pulitzer Prize winner. And, he knows the title of the book is
I
"You
saw
Sound
the- I
Amazing:
saw the-
Every Lie of the Music Business."
I saw the
And his
first line and
blurb
it
was,
says, I got some
"Jeff
paint
Weber's
in my
been lying
pants.
to me
I read
for
it
years,
again.
so he knows
What?
what he's talking
It's
about."
got some paint on my. Big
It's
diff.
the greatest ever.
I just-
So have fun with it. If it isn't fun, it isn't worth it.
So, here we go. Okay, so this should be working. Lyrics.
So,
I got some paint on my pants,
Compliment.
silver on my shirt sleeves. We pay in advance. Whatever afterthought means, none of us had ever thought we'd ever be professionals in showbiz before.
Oh, sure. So,
Even
I've been producing
more.
records for 40
Story
years. Done about
goes.
200 records so far, and multiple
Does it
in my
go?
festival Grammys,
We're gonna have something about this.
Where to go? We got a hammer and nails,
My publisher
bucket full of
is in
plastic,
West Virginia.
pile
and
of pals, recipes disaster. Open up the audience, what really meant to me once the fourth wall is down.
Creative practice, our singers are
Even round,
First song is
circle
Jason
spin.
I learned something. There's something very wrong with Jeff Weber. Can you tell?
Yeah, that's the lyric sheet, but I can't really.
Okay,
You're
so I
a
can-
winner.
I can go over there, right? Listen,
I can see it.
It's from a New York Times bestselling author. And Pulitzer Prize winner. And, he knows the title of the book is "You Sound Amazing: Every Lie of the Music Business." So the first line was,
I got some
"Jeff
paint in
Weber's
my
been lying
pants.
to me
I read it
again,
again.
so he knows what he's talking
I
about."
got some paint on my. Big
It's the
diff.
greatest ever.
I just-
So, have fun with it. It isn't fun, it's not.
We made a mouthful of press, but otherwise we're honest. Look at this mess. I got some paint on the promise. Rearrange the obvious leaves, the page, change the rest of us. Whatever that thought means, none of us had ever thought we'd ever be professionals in showbiz before. Otherwise, you're a winner. Doesn't know where to go. We got a hammer and nails, bucket, plaster, pile of nails, recipes, disaster. Open up the audience, what really meant the meaning once the fourth wall is down. Even round, circle spin.
Can you tell?
Otherwise, you're a winner.
So
In advance, whatever afterthought means, none of us had ever thought we'd ever be professionals in showbiz before. Even more, the story goes, doesn't know
Music,
where to go.
whatever it is.
We got a hammer and nails, a bucket full of plaster, a pile of pails, a recipe's disaster. Open up the audience, what really meant the meaning, hence the fourth wall is down.
October 20th.
Even round, circle spin.
October 21st.
Otherwise,
It'll be on the polo field in Park.
you're a winner.
Challenge. Area of the people who live around the polo field. All these have to stop at 8 o'clock. You know what a silent disco is? That is disco. Raise it up or act. It's playing everything electronically. You hear it through Bluetooth headphones.
We made a mountain of press, but otherwise we're honest. Look at this mess and break another promise.
Now it's working?
The silent
All right.
disco is silent.
Silent.
You know, there's no difference. But at the same time, they tell you-
Are you guys online hearing Jason's song? Please nod your head. Still not hearing it? Okay, they're still not hearing it.
There's all this talking going on. It's insanity.
9:30 on State Street.
Well, that's because I don't have it on. Are you hearing it now?
1:30.
Are you hearing it right now?
A little bit, yeah.
I got some paint on my pants.
Okay, there it is.
Silver on your shirt sleeves. We paint in advance.
Okay.
Whatever
Don't
afterthought.
believe it. You know, what we
Keep
do.
it going, Steve, I need it.
What? I stopped it myself. So leave it on.
None of us had ever thought we'd ever be professionals in
Spoken
showbiz
Spoken
Okay,
word.
break up the level.
You go to the spoken word world.
before.
Amazing.
The story goes.
We're hearing
have a
multiple
film music
feeds,
room.
Jimmy.
Where, okay, it's gonna be.
Yeah, I know that because we got two things going on, but I wanted to make sure you are hearing it.
In the background, yeah, but with the talking, it's kind of hard to hear it.
Yes, we can hear
Yeah.
it.
Okay, good. That's all I
He
wanted.
does, American Songbook. Frank and I.
What were you saying earlier about?
So what we gotta do is we gotta mute this microphone when we're playing it here.
But I'm glad you're showing the lyrics first before you start the song. That's an improvement.
Okay, so let's try this again.
The
What's this
winner of the
most-
voice is selected in the first episode.
Yeah, well, what's this
Really?
most essential album ever?
The phrase "America has voted" is 100% false.
This is the one you gave us?
Wow.
Because I
Why
thought it
would
said you were a
anybody
winner.
think that the producers of The Voice would allow the public to select the winner of their show? Think about it.
That's
I play it all the time. They tell me, and I see the deal.
I got
But there's
Okay.
one,
All right.
even better.
But there's one,
There's one thing that's even better about the book,
Oh, I
or
wanna
worse.
know, I wanna know.
Is somebody talking about an election? Because that's what we're hearing as the song is playing.
All right, somebody's not muted. All right. How do I get out of full screen here?
So here's the
Everybody
thing.
can- If everybody can mute themselves,
If you want
So there's
to
no
listen to
background?
Voice, all you have to do is put in your email address, go to NBC.com/the voice, and you have.
Mute Stephen Coates's feed also.
You can vote.
No, that's
That's us.
for
That's us.
One person 10 times, or you can. vote
because
for
there's
10 people.
more than one thing going on, yeah.
Okay,
Elizabeth,
Don't you have a work email address? You put in your work email address. So my client was on the show, I had a friend in Brazil. who put
okay, are you still hearing any?
every single email address in his address?
Yeah, we're hearing somebody talking. I think you have to turn a mute on Stephen Coates's feed.
Oh, that'll kill everybody.
23,000 times?
Is there something being discussed over there on site?
Elizabeth isn't muted.
Okay, Stephen, you could try. I mean, Jimmy, you could try again.
some paint on my pants and silver on my shirt sleeves. I got some paint on my pants and silver on my shirt sleeves. We pay in advance, whatever afterthought means. None of us had ever thought we'd ever be professionals in showbiz before. Even more, the story goes, doesn't know where to go. We got a hammer and nails, a bucket full of plaster, a pile of pails, the recipe's disaster. Open up the audience, what really meant the meaning, hence the fourth wall is down. Even round, circles spin. Otherwise, you're a winner. We made a mountain of press, but otherwise we're honest. Look at this mess and break another promise. Rearrange the obvious, the facts have changed. The rest of us will never let on. Even wronged people win. Otherwise.
Is that it? Well, I got it.
Like the trombone.
How was this recorded? Was this, can anybody, is it just one way or?
Yeah, no, we're having a discussion here. This is great. It's a full big band orchestra, and it was 9 pieces, 9 horns, piano, drums, bass, of course, and vocals. And it was arranged by two of the guys in my band are the arrangers. So they arranged all the horns for the guys, and we did a whole album, 10 songs. These guys are all like jazz cats, and we went to a jazz studio, with a guy who knows how to do jazz. So yeah, it's my first jazz record. I mostly do pop and folk.
Well, I got to tell you, it was sure fun,
Thank
you know, and I love the fact that you're using real musicians in real time.
Yeah.
Some of the lyrics were difficult for me to understand the meaning, but I'm not a theater guy as much as you are. So I understand the paint on my pants and the silver on my shirt sleeves. You know, we pay in advance. I didn't know what the first two lines meant as far as that and whatever afterthought means. I mean, I actually like the song a lot. Lyrically, I'm it's just because I don't know what that is, but otherwise, I thought that the singer had that wonderful spirit about him. He was a little pitchy. There were things that were going on, and we all know that.
Yeah,
but by and large, I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. I'll just thank you for the feedback. I'll quickly just say, and then we can pass it up to the next performer, the next songwriter. It's a song about show business and the ups and the downs of it, be it theater or music. And so thanks again for all the feedback, and thank you, Jimmy and Stephen as well too.
All right. Okay, well, thank you very much, all the way from the East Coast.
Love it.
Yeah. Now let's see if we can get the next person up. Let's go with Liz Yakubian. So, oh, that's
freedom,
really small.
You have to expand this window. Yeah.
Turn the window.
Yeah, there we go.
They're pretty small. Okay.
Oh, I can get close.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the song and then kick that up. So here we go. Oh, yeah.
Freedom, 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 freedom dance. All our lives we like to dance. You dance a dancey dance. She dances. All our lives we like to dance. We dance that freedom dance, singing freedom, freedom dance, freedom, freedom dance. We stomp, we stride, lunge and recover, chalet away, or tours to take, past jobs and people, obligations. We dance that freedom dance, singing freedom, freedom dance, freedom, freedom dance, freedom, freedom dance, dancing that freedom dance. More time, more space, more fun, more money. That ball and chain is full restraint, breaking free from drugs and cruel addiction. We dance that freedom dance, singing freedom, freedom dance, freedom, freedom dance, freedom, freedom dance, dancing that freedom dance. This freedom thing's gone down the centuries like ballet waltz, samba and tap, from the patriots to the abolitionists. They dance that freedom dance, singing freedom.
All right. Good job, Liz.
That was cool. I really like that.
Song.
What's that?
Song.
I don't know how much of a fan I am of starting a song with the chorus. I understand that, you know, it's about the rhythm of the dance and everything like that, but I just imagined what it would be if it wasn't started even with an abridged chorus. And if you didn't start off with the chorus and then the instrumental intro was doubled before the vocal came in, then all of a sudden we could get the rhythm of what you're talking about. And then the chorus becomes that kind of wonderful freedom thing. I don't really know if you need the modulation until later. in the song on when you get to the first chorus. The modulation doesn't feel to me like it's necessary that soon in the song. Maybe on the out, or maybe even the second or third chorus, if that happens. But I definitely feel that's my 2 cents, and maybe I've overvalued it.
Well, you didn't play the whole song. I mean, the song was cut off like halfway through. You know?
Right, and the reason why it was my thought to do that is I wanted to make sure we could get as many songs in as possible.
Okay.
It wasn't because I didn't like the song. I liked it.
Just that it has a thing where it wraps up, and anyway. I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. You go ahead.
No, and by the way, this is just my own personal thoughts, because I really like where this going, and dancing, as far as history is concerned, is a huge element of communication for pretty much all cultures. So I appreciate what you've done.
Oh, thank you.
All right, good job. Next, we're going to try Merle Weber.
Is that her name?
So we can lower the mic and you can sit over there.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Okay,
yeah,
do that.
bring that
Then you don't have to stand up the whole time.
Here's the remote.
Pardon my back.
That's okay.
Or yeah, just sit back there. We'll move the microphone so
Yeah.
it points toward you.
Okay,
Is what we'll do.
I just need to see El Blindo. I just needs to see the lyrics.
That's fine.
Is that okay?
Bring that over here too, so you can get this. Turn it this way. Put it here and then aim it that way. Okay, good. Okay, let's give this a shot now. Merrily.
I'm Stephen Coates for right now.
Hold on, I can't find it. It's not coming up. There it is. Why is it so huge?
Because this Microsoft Word instead of a text file.
Oh, and it's backwards too. All right. How do we fix that?
How'd
you fix it?
You let me know when you're ready.
Yeah.
I'll continue my story.
Okay, here's what I'm going to start the song, and
Right,
then
right.
I'm going to blow it up. Okay.
When I was a little girl, bad luck was my fate. I lost my daddy before I turned 8. Got beat up and put down from morning till late. And I figured out life was no piece of cake. The chip on my shoulder, you'd weighed more than me. Didn't know, didn't care who I wanted to be. Thought giving up was a way to be free, until someone wiser came and helped me see. The job never started, can never be done. The game never played, can never be won. A life never lived, a race never run, a job never started, can never be done. I got myself up one day at a time.
step forward, I fell to behind. Sometimes I
Okay. Good
Oh,
job.
that was fun. I got to tell you, I really like this song. The line, "The chip on my shoulder weighed more than me." I love that line. And the background vocals, I thought could be a little bit more intense. You know, they're fun, but they're a little on the lazier side. You know, and I really love this song. So let me ask you a question, Jimmy. How can I pitch this to one of my artists? That song?
If it's up, yeah, if she wants it, we can do that, or give her your email address. And,
Sure. I have an artist that might be interested in this.
That's good. That's good.
May I give you my my email address is simply jeffreyweber@me.com, me.com. JEF as in Frank, F as in Frank, REY, WEBER, jeffreyweber@me.com.
Okay.
It's almost your last name, but
I know that wigged me out there.
yeah, right. Your cup runneth over with ease. But I like it. That could be really a fun song.
Thank you. Can you tell me, it was Jeffrey, Jeffrey?
That's right. One word, JEFFREY, WEB as in boy, ER
Okay.
at me.com. If you put two B's in Weber, I'll never get it.
Oh, okay.
It's one B in Weber, the original.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, so next we got Stephen Palmaderos.
Oh, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. With the song, please send me the lyric sheet and your contact information.
Okay. Will do.
Okay, Stephen Palmaderos next.
Was a dream come true, little country home. Two boys were born into this world. Their house was built on solid ground. Love and faith was the foundation. Seemed like nothing could tear it down. But as they grew, a crack appeared. Mom and Dad had grown apart, turned their whole world upside down. And Daddy won't be walking through the door today. You know it broke those young boys' hearts, but time will heal, the crack will seal. When you're young and scared and life seems unfair, there is just one thing you need to know. Our love for you will never change. Foundation strong through every season. My boys are proud. Proud of the roots that fed their soul. Values worth believing. And all the love that we would give. The foundation never came apart. My boys are proud.
Jeff, I can't hear you.
Oh, no.
How about now?
Yeah, yeah, thank you. That's good.
Okay. Stephen, what I said, is this me? Oh, okay. Might be me. It's the other me.
Yeah, it just feeding back in his.
Oh, I'll turn my.
Why don't you mute?
Okay.
Why don't you mute me? Okay. All right. So the verses, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, the verses are too long. And I think that the tempo is a little bit too loggy. It's difficult for me to go through the verse. I don't think the pre-chorus is a pre-chorus, and I don't think the chorus is a chorus. I think the pre-chorus should be the chorus, and I'm not sure what to do yet with the chorus. I think as far as the story is concerned, I really want all the verses to be cut in half, and the chorus acts as a resolution to the love that the foundation of love that the family has. That's really it. It's just I think if you picked it up a little bit tempo wise, shortened the verses, made the pre-chorus the actual chorus, I think that maybe there's something there.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Appreciate your insights. Thanks for your honest feedback.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay, so next we got Nalini. Close this one.
Sorry about that.
Scraps of paper looking for truth, chasing a dream through the lens of my youth, taking a dive into these rhymes. Scraps of paper, unfinished lines, random thoughts frozen in time, hoping to find meaning inside. When I was young, thought I knew all the changes we'd go through. Thought that love would light the way. In the dark, I'm losing ground each day. I'm getting tired of waiting to find the meaning inside these scraps of paper.
When I stop a song, it's not because I'm not liking it or anything. I just want to get to as many potential songs as I can before my plane leaves. Anyway, can we go back to the top of that? I'm loving the scraps of paper visual, and I love that you equate scraps of paper with lens of your youth. So I really think that's an idea that we all can experience, and all of those scraps of paper obviously are unfinished in some way, shape, or form. But I really like the idea that those ideas represent a puzzle to you, and that it's something that you're searching for, and the discovery that we don't really know anything about anything, especially love. I'm not a big fan of having background vocals as the last word of a verse. I mean, I just think that it takes away from that verse. I think the background vocal arrangement could be changed to augment what you're doing. Also, I'm sorry about that. The only other thing is that the delivery, the performance of the vocal seems a little bit on the somber side for my personal taste. I don't want it to go all the Janician way. I'd like it to be a little bit more, more of a discovery, more rather than kind of this kind of forlorn point of view. I think the presentation is something that could be developed.
Appreciate that.
She had that produced by one of our other guest speakers, so it's kind of interesting.
Oops. No, I'm not kidding. I wouldn't change my,
Hey,
That's
Jimmy,
it.
if you guys use that square button in the to enlarge it, all the lyrics would show.
No, but we've got so many different formats.
Yeah, I get it. Thanks so much, Jeff. Appreciate your feedback.
Please feel free to ignore at will.
The audio dropped out from SongNet just now. I might as well share with Jeff. I wrote this song as more of a Neil Young guitar song. And once it got into production, it turned into smooth jazz, much to my surprise.
And dismay?
Well, it's like different versions for different treatments, I think. That's what I'm learning.
A great lyric can wear the clothes of any genre.
Right on. Thanks.
Okay, go ahead to mute button and then.
I glanced up from the table. I met a sea breeze glaze. It danced, and then a serpent soon took its place. And I held hands with a flower that blossomed and perfumed, and the air lightly lingered, but then the fragrance left the room. It did.
great. I really like the instrumentation of that. It suited the lyrics to me. It was, you know, it just seemed like a wonderful match. Sometimes I think that you could get to the chorus, you know, your skin like, your hand touches, you know, for something as sweet as, you know, there may be a place where you can put the chorus in between some of those so that there could be some more effective stuff rather than going through two or three different versions of two or three different verses. You know, again, we're kind of a little disadvantaged because I don't have the lyrics up yet, but it's all good though. I just really felt that I felt the lightness of the song and the sincerity of the delivery too.
It's a very old song, about 10 years old. So, but
10 years old isn't very old in my book.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're still with that person, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
That's what I thought.
No, I only write when I'm upset, you know.
Just like you said.
Just had to add.
Hey, for the last year, I've got tons of songs. Oh my God. They were just been streaming out of me.
Makes total sense.
But thank you.
Okay. So next we got manual. So we can close everything here. Okay. So actually put them over here so I can see. Okay, manual.
There's so much fussing, all about cussing. Those words can pierce through and through. And though cussing is wrong, it never hurt me as long. It never hurt me like you do. That's because you're a bad woman. Smell your name leaves behind. And if that wasn't rough, if that wasn't enough, I've gotta wash you out of my mind.
Okay.
That's because you're a bad
Good.
You're a bad taste.
Well, I gotta say, Emmanuel, that all I had to do was read the title of that song and it put an immediate smile on my face. Because I think every one of us had, man or woman, has been in a situation like that. The chorus, I think, can we go back to the chorus for a quick second? I think the chorus is really strong. but I think that the background vocals on the first time through come in too soon. We don't really understand what you're saying because the background vocals are a little bit heavy for the first chorus, at least. Let us get into that. And it just you're a bad word. I'm gonna try that on my wife tonight. See what happens. If I have a black eye, you'll know I was quite successful. So what happened? Oh, I was a bad word. Anyway, I love this song. I think the lyrics of the verse lyrics could be developed a little bit fuller. The cussing, the verse, we can say that more precisely. The payoff lines, cussing never hurt me as long, it never hurt me like you do. That's the line. The other stuff, I think you can do better with that verse. And same with mouthwash and mints. I get the visualization. Smell your name leaves behind. I'm sure. Listen, as John Brahaney said, the successful song is a mixture of predictability and surprise. And I think with just a touch, this could be really a great song because it has all the elements. Way to go.
All right. Good job. Thanks, man.
Honey, you're a bad word. Slams the door, locks me out. Okay, fine.
Okay. Next we got, let's see, Sasha. Let's see if Sasha is in here. Yeah.
Was I right about John?
Oh, yes. Right on.
I love John.
All right.
So who wrote this one?
This is Sasha.
Sasha, okay.
Yeah.
In our respective corners, looking at it together. Should I have seen this coming? You made up your mind to go. You say that it's not a woman, and nothing that I have done to you. It's all on you. It isn't easy being broken by love. I pretend I'm made of stone. The straws survive. Making the future not be the past. No. Telling someone you love goodbye. Only the strong survive. You tell me you're gonna move on to bigger and better things. I see all the times you said it. I love you was just a game. Now that your heart's in motion.
Thank you for that. You can hear me, right?
Sasha, you there?
You're muted. If this is her, she's muted, right?
She's still muted.
Okay, very good.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. Yes.
Great. So let's just talk about the relationship between the vocal and the instrumentation. Since the vocal, I think for a real simple mix, take down all the instrumentation so that we can actually hear more of your vocal. I can't really hear a lot of it, and I'd like to. And let's just talk about the verses for a second. The first verse and the second verse are telling the same story. You're going to move on, and can we go back up just a little bit? Yeah. He's going in the first verse. He's still going in the second verse. Okay. So, I really think that there should be more of the story in the second verse. Whereas an idea would be, you can go, but you're not knocking me out. I'm recovering and I'm ready for my next round, whatever that is. But, something that shows that whatever is happening is is just going to make you stronger, which fits into the chorus, only the strong survive. And it's not about it. The survival is you. You're the strong. You're the survivor. Make it about that. That's and I don't know if the pre-chorus adds or to the you could make that into a verse, but that's my 2 cents. And I know it's convoluted, but at the end of the day, first one, tell the story, make the story about you, let people know that you're the one that's made of steel, like you did in the pre-chorus, and only the strong survive, and that's you. You're the strong. You're the survive.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Good job. Okay, let's see. Steve D. I don't think he submitted anything. G. Bo. G. Bo. Flo. Don't see anything from Flo, so I think that's it for our internet people. So now we're here. Hey, all of our live people. Yay. Let's see. So let's see what we got. Liddell, got you up first. How about that? Okay. And do you want to say anything about it since you're here?
This is a song I wrote for my husband. That's right.
It's good enough.
Thank you.
I can't drag it over there. Huh? Yeah, but then I can't get to the. That's the problem.
You're the air I breathe. You're the songs I sing. All I want and need is you. You're my reason why I feel safe to try. Every dream I'm longing to. When this stifling world so cynical and broken pollutes my mind and suffocates my pride. You're the oxygen that frees me. You clear a space so I can fly.
Okay.
You're the air I breathe.
Well, You're the Air I Breathe is the chorus, right?
It is.
Okay. I just don't know how effective it is to start a song with the chorus. Okay. The other challenge here is that we have to be aware of the use of cliches. And, I know that if it's something that is, we hear so much, we may just kind of, it doesn't sink in. You know what I mean? So just kind of be careful about that. This is just my own opinion. Save that, and save something. Save your sentiment, your heartfelt sentiment, for the chorus as a resolution of your feelings, and because the verse about the world, the cynical world, and all that stuff, and he's your oasis, and you can always count on him. You're the air that I breathe. That I think if you reshape the song and kind of come up with another way of dealing with that type of cliche, I think there's meat there, because polluting my mind and suffocating my pride, that's an interesting concept. And then you, in essence, repeat the chorus as the last two lines of that verse when you say, you're the oxygen that frees me, which is, now that might be a way of moving that line up into what would be a chorus. Instead of saying, you're the air I breathe, you could say, you're the oxygen that frees me. I think that's a more powerful statement.
Okay. Good.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now we got.
Good job.
Okay, Rich Marchetta, you want to say anything?
I'm right here.
Yep. You want to say anything about it? Yeah, nope.
I'm sorry.
Did you want to say anything about it first, or?
No, you could just play it.
Okay.
There's questions.
Unbiased.
Mad dog pump crazy and love in 33. Highway abusers and robberies. Bonnie and Clyde. Ford V8s were in their company cars. Trouble was, it took them way too far. Bonnie and Clyde. True love shall last a long time too, but those photogenic tags help the coppers serve the blues.
Okay.
Okay.
Somehow, Bonnie and Clyde is the total chorus. Ordinarily, I probably wouldn't go, no, that doesn't really work. But here, I think it does work, and I think the story is interesting and fun, and I think the way you delivered it was fun as well. The instrumentation helped, it provided the atmosphere for that time period, I thought. And I think atmosphere and delivery are really important. So not really sure about the company cars as being something that, I didn't get the company car part, but everything else is pretty much fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, Steven, let's go ahead and get yours up on a little earlier today for change. Yep.
Oh, you're welcome. And it's just my own personal and humble opinions that could be personally 100% wrong. Just my thoughts.
Paging through a magazine, being watched by eyes unseen. A smile grows across her face. It's time to change the pace. Love sneaks up on you. Love sneaks up on you. Try too hard, he'll run away. Won't come back another day. Quietly just read. Maybe then he'll see that love sneaks up on you. love sneaks up on you. Love sneaks up on you. One look is all she needs. One smile and they'll both see. Into his eyes she must fall. Into her eyes
Okay.
he must fall.
So whose song is this? So tell me about it. What, how to, because
Well, it's just about somebody who's, you know how it is when you're in a coffee shop or any place and one person is sort of looking at the other person and they think, how am I going to get their attention? And the other person is completely unsuspecting. So it's that kind of situation. And then it's a matter of trying to catch their eye, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. All right. That really helps me because I was kind of, I wasn't making, I knew that there was something going on, but I wasn't making exactly the connection. I really like the bridge, to be honest, because that's what gave me the hint of what's going on. Somehow I like the bridge as the chorus. Okay. Because there's the resolution that I'm looking for from the verse. I think it should resolve to the chorus. And yeah, just that one moment. Yeah, I think this is, universal. Everybody has that type of thing, which makes it a very potentially popular vehicle, And I think though that Love Sneaks Up on You, you could develop that a little bit better, maybe adding another line or something like that, something like Love Sneaks Up on You, at the time you least expect it or something like that, something like that. Because if you see it repeat 3 times, psychologically, we're done with that. We're moving on because we know what's coming. We don't want it to be, too predictable.
Okay.
Okay, good job. Let's see. Got Ed Lackey here. Well, that sounds like a good title. Straight from Hell.
I love ballad.
Do you want to say anything about it, Ed?
No, go ahead.
All right, here we go.
She was stunning, took me by surprise. I couldn't move, there was something in her eye. Everything she had a man could want. When she walked, everything she flaunts. She's a demon straight from hell. Something I should have known really well. Other men have already paid the toll. She's really looking for a soul. In the day, I'm on the run, avoiding darkness, staying in the sun. When the night falls, the alleys are dark. Her eyes glow when she hunts the heart. She's a demon straight from hell. Something I should have known really well. Other men have already paid the toll. She's only looking for a soul.
To really listen to a lot more of that guitar, not having anything to do with the song. It's just like whoever did that did a really good job. I really like that. Was that you?
In a way, yes.
Well, in a way, good job. So my challenge on this one is, I get the whole picture of the song in the very first verse. And so everything else is just pure fun for me. But I also felt that the melody of the first 2 lines of the chorus could be developed more. I didn't think that they were compelling enough that I would remember them, after only hearing it one time, which is my litmus test. If I can remember one thing about a song, doesn't matter what it is, after hearing a song only once, that song succeeds. So I just felt that the first two lines of the chorus, you could develop the melodic structure to make it as compelling as you want it to
No,
be.
it's different. Okay. Next, we got Catherine Beck.
And if you bought that guitar stuff, you should be ashamed of yourself.
You want to say anything about it, Catherine? No? All right.
You said that?
Our love was louder than words. Our song wrote itself. You could hear it all the way to New York. And now I'm dancing with you, and it sounds just like love. I could hear it even when I'm alone. How do I get your melody out of my head? How do I erase the sound of loving you that still echoes, echoes, echoes? How do I get your melody out of my head?
Okay.
Our love was floating like fog.
At the beginning, I didn't think this was a sad song. The first, I think it was the first two verses before the chorus hit. But then I realized, oh. And the hint was in the last line of the second verse, even when I'm alone, that kind of gave me the thing. And then nice resolution into the chorus and really good visual atmospheres, really good lyrics. I mean, I could picture that the atmosphere of the lyric was really strong, in my opinion. And I didn't listen to the rest of it, but I kind of got the idea that you got lost on the road. That was really interesting to me. This song is interesting.
So Nancy, did you submit anything? No? Okay.
I also like the last line. You can't hear it, because you said you could hear it all the way through the song, and you can't hear it. Really nice touch.
It's one of my favorite songs ever.
Yeah.
Let's see. So the only ones that are missing are Rambe's on YouTube, so he's watching. But
Well, I can
you can
pull up
pull
the
it
round.
out. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have in the previous session, it's the
Okay.
same song.
Oh, okay.
Is that the one that we're listening to?
Yeah. So you can pull,
Maybe I'll go. Go now.
I want to write a Christmas song with you. I want to be inspired. Want to hear those street side choirs. I want to write a Christmas song with you.
And I want to sing a Christmas song with you. Want to sing about the season. I want to share the reason. I want to sing a Christmas song with you.
There is joy in the air. There are smiles everywhere. God's great gift of love to the world from above. I want to live a Christmas song with you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a universal sentiment. The vocals need some help.
Yeah, my vocals. Yeah, well, we'll work on my vocals.
But you know, it's one of those things. And by the way, I don't know, Christmas songs are really, really important holiday songs because every year they're perennials. That's the theory, but every year people are, you know, stations are aching for new stuff every year. I didn't really understand or realize how important that was. And I did a Christmas project with a young singer in San Francisco. Her name is RLB. And I didn't really know what it was. So I talked to the owner of smoothjazz.com. I hate that name, but they're really good at promoting. And I wanted to get their opinion about it. And the owner said, you know, this song is a great Christmas song, but it doesn't have to be. You know, we could promote it into January. You just have to change one word. I think the name of the song was Candy Coated Love or Candy Cane Coated Love. And I think she wanted to change to get rid of the cane part. But that would have caused them to spend more money on promoting it in January. And they didn't understand what the promotion was because it's relatively expensive. The song came out, went to #1 immediately in the first week, stayed there the whole Christmas season. And I'm telling you right now, it was a really fun song, RLB. That's and she did a really good job. We did an R&B, really amazing R&B, funky song, you know, and stations ate it up. So
There it is.
how can you not like a song where the title is Naked?
Even though it's your business card.
That's right. I have my business card. It has my picture on it. And I am naked in a kind of a weird way. Thanks, Jimmy. I love coming here. I love doing this. You know, I always wish I was one.
I'm standing here naked, so you can see all my flaws. If you can't accept it, then can you love me just because? No, standing here naked, so so you can see all my flaws. If you can't accept it, then can you love me just because? No more concealing. Now my heart is open wide. It's time for revealing. Since I've been stripped of all my pride, I'm standing here naked, naked. Ain't got no clothes on. Standing here naked, naked. All inhibitions are long gone. Loving you.
Him kind of like expressing his feelings in the most unadorned fashion, shall you say? And I thought it was pretty good. I really liked the instrumentation. I thought it was sultry, and I thought it really kind of matched the vibe of what was going on there. You know, beauty, in my opinion, is with flaws. You know, that to me is character. It's beautiful. I don't think so I understand a little bit about this. And I believe that, I'm not sure that all these lyrics are exact. I mean, there was some things going on there that I wasn't following the lyric sheet. And I don't know if that was just me or
It's the way that the thing was chopped up.
the formatting. Yeah, but this had a vibe, you know what I mean? And I love that part of it. Really did.
Jeff, he was here last.
Yeah,
we played.
Got everybody?
Yeah, we got everybody. I don't know, John
John
Bernard's not here, but
That's really good. Really do like that.
That's Marilee's. Marilee and John work together. So.
John is here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, then let's go ahead and put John up. I didn't know he was here. He didn't show up on the Zoom call, so.
I get a feeling when I look into your eyes. Put your arms around me. You really got a hold on me. Don't let go, don't let go, no. You really got a hold on me. Don't let go, don't let go, no. Here we are together, alone, just you and I. And deep inside my heart, I know I never felt so satisfied. Put your arms around me. You really got a hold on me. Don't let go, don't let go, no. You really got a hold on me. Don't let go, don't let go, no. Long before we met, I was dreaming about you. And now I know for sure that the dream is coming true. Put
Okay.
your arms around me, yeah, yeah. You really got a hold on me. Don't let
All right.
How come it's not coming through? There it is. Okay.
Is that it? Okay. So I love the atmosphere of the song, the instrumentation. I just think that the chorus isn't hitting me as hard as it should, you know, and just not, you know, maybe it's because we've heard the, you know, you really got to hold it, you know what I mean? We've kind of heard that before. I mean, this is a great pop song. And I guess that every verse is the same sentiment. So I'm not until what I think is the bridge. But I would love to know the story, not just, you know, the tagline, you know. I've never felt so satisfied. Put your arms around me. You're my lucky star. Put your arms around me. Keeps me holding on so tight. Put your arms around. It's all the same. There's no progression, I think, in the verses. So it's just that singular sentiment that's repeated different in a different kind of format or a different kind of lyric every time. So I don't see the progression myself. Really would love to know the story.
You're still muted there, John. Okay. Hey, thanks. All right. Good.
Get everybody.
I think we got everybody. Yep. All right.
Really good feedback, Jeff. Thanks.
Yes, thank you
Well,
so much. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, all of you online. It was a struggle to get everything
Thank you.
going again, but we got it. So we appreciate that.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Oh, my pleasure.
Everybody.
Well done.
Thank you.
It was.
And as always, you get official SongNet mug. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Catherine, I want you to share that book with us.
Okay.
Thank you for the still lacking.
Okay.
All right.
So everybody got a book, right?
Yeah.
Much so.
If anybody wants, I'm happy to write something in that book. If anybody wants any of the hardcover, there's photos and cartoons and assorted nonsense.
Yeah, you can take your fanboy picture with them too. So thank you once again.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jeff.
Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
So we're gonna be having a showcase.
No, I think, were there questions here?
Oh yeah, no, I'm happy. Take the mask off. We're friends here.
Sorry about that.
I'm keeping my 6 foot.
Yeah, you are. Sorry, I've been taking care of my mom at night. So
I understand.
need a little extra. I really appreciated the feedback you gave me, and I'm wondering, are you available, like, obviously for hire, but to review other songs and to give your input on other songs? Or obviously, I know you have a lot on your plate.
Well, here's the thing. I'm happy to review other songs, but it's very expensive. So, you know, I would continue on this route, you know, just right now, you know, I was doing these song critiques for all these companies, you know, Music X-Ray and all these other things. And, you know, they said, oh, you know, we'll give you $8. And I said, but what are you getting? Well, we're getting 12. We charged them $20. I thought, you know, this isn't good. And I did that for years. And I thought, you know what? I'm just right now, I'm charging $150 to review a song. And the reason is because I don't do this. You know, this is just kind of a fun thing. It's kind of a knee-jerk reaction. It's wonderfully fun. But I really get into it though, you know, and I really listen multiple times because one time you're listening to the lyrics, another time you're thinking about the structure, another time you're thinking about the arrangement, another time you're thinking about the playing, another time you're thinking about whether the vocal is, you know, pitchy or not, you know, the atmosphere of the whole song, the vibe. So it takes me a long time because I don't take this lightly. That answers your question. I have my business card here if anybody wants it, and it does have a naked picture of me on it.
So is that like for on a per song basis,
Uh-huh.
or is it like for an hourly or how?
No, now that is a consultation, and I do 2-hour consultations. But then again, I do my homework. I take every song that you've ever done. I analyze everything. It's 2 hours of us seeing each other, talking either in person or Facebook, FaceTime, or any of these other things. But that's really expensive, and that's like it's $2,500. And the idea is I'm really wanting to create a sustainable career path. So if in the future you decide, oh, you know what, assuming you're an artist, let's go ahead and make a record, you get that money back. You get the consultation money back. Okay. I mean, it's for me, I'm interested in doing not your first record, let's say, but your 21st record, because that means you have a career. And there's a certain definition of success that comes in. My definition of success is a lot different than a lot of other people's. My definition of success is the ability for you to do what you love to do again, whatever that is, whether it's performing, writing, recording, So if you take all those agains and you put them together, we have a career. That's the goal.
For a person who is not pursuing a career as a performer, just hoping to have some sort of income with their songs. With that,
It's all part of, if that's, whatever the goal is, that 2 hours is based on achieving that goal, And the reason is that at $2,500, the most common, if I can be so vernacular, when I tell them it's $2,500 for 2 hours, I always get, you're out of your fucking mind. Who would pay that? And I go, well, thankfully, not you. Because I don't tell them all the additional advantages to that. I mean, at that point, if you're paying that money, then you can call me at any time. You can come to my sessions. I'll review a document for you, no charge. I mean, there's a lot of other things that go into that, but most of the time we never get that far, because I want that reaction, because then I know that they're not serious. Because if you're serious, you're going to buy that guitar that sounds great. You're going to use a piano that has the action that you need. You're going to work with engineers that matter. You're going to understand the process of being an artist, of being a songwriter, doing things like this repeatedly. That's important. But I got frustrated, and every time I get angry, I raise my prices. So, you just have to do that, because I spent 40 years making music. So I figured, well, okay, maybe that's worth something, and I tell the truth. I'm not a yes man, and I don't have a problem with telling the truth, because if somebody wants me to slobber all over them for the money, I can do that too. But nobody wants that, and my job isn't to be a critic. My job is to be someone who encourages, who nurtures. Even the worst song has something positive about it. And, that's the way, it's not, man, writing songs is a tough gig. Writing a great song is a once in a lifetime gig. You know what I mean? It's not easy. I recognize that. Songs are my secret weapon. There's a bunch of great vocalists around, not a bunch of great songs around, So that's my.
Tonight, for anyone here or someone, the artist that you want to pick that, because you said earlier you're working with this artist. Can we pitch you something, or you could say, here's the parameter we're looking for? We can try to write it?
I'm generally not looking for anything right now. The reason why that song spoke to me was I want to see what one of my artists thinks about it. She will give me her reaction in 10 seconds. most of the time it's not pleasant. You know, but because, you know, I've been producing her shows and her records for 20 years, we're family. And I just think that she might not want it in a blues format though. You know, she might be leaning more of an R&B, so we'd have to change the arrangement, you know? So, but you know, I'm taking a flyer. We're not scheduled to do a record right now. She's in the process of finishing up writing 4 records. And we'll probably end up going to Nashville to do it because that's closer to where she lives. But every time I hear a song that might be of interest to somebody, I'll reach out, you know, because right now I'm believe it or not, I've taken a producing job, dare I say it, for Facebook. Facebook, how many people have heard of Clubhouse?
Oh, yeah.
So Clubhouse is an audio only group of rooms where you can basically go in and listen to people talk about whatever interests you might have, right? Whether it's cryptocurrency, sex, doing voiceovers, you know, pitching your songs, it's free. Facebook has decided that they wanted to do a very upscale version of that, and they called it romantically Facebook Live Audio Room, right? See what I mean? And they have put together a list of thought leaders, food people like chefs, sports figures, celebrities, you know, and my role, I'm assigned a certain number of people, and I'm to produce their live audio room. But Facebook technology is wonky because this is a really fast rollout, and they're spending a lot of money. Every celebrity gets paid huge money by normal people standards. And even the guests get paid huge money for a 30 to 60 minute conversation.
Is it like TED Talks?
No, it's audio only. And it can be 30 minutes to 60 minutes about whatever that host, you know, one of my hosts is Giada De Laurentiis, the chef, right? And interestingly enough, she wants to talk about wellness. And so all of her guests are wellness related, or, you know, and I had another artist named Lindsay Sterling, the violinist, and she wanted to talk about very deep subjects, nothing to do with her shows, like, you know, surviving loss and thriving. You know, Giada is interested in regenerative farming, you know, things like that, which, you know, pretty fast. But all subjects are, you know, open, you know, and you can go on Facebook, create your own live audio room if you want. You know, it's not restricted just to celebrities. But so it's very intense, and scheduling is a nightmare. And the amount of people in front of that artist or that chef or that, you know, a lot of back and forth. So that's what I'm doing until the end of October, when I hope that the funding for my music festivals kicks in. And watch us on Ellen. I think that we've been, because of this philanthropy vision, the Ellen show has offered us 4 specific dates, you know, where we could go on, where the Radical Note, this is just kind of what we're working on, where Radical Note gives a check to Paul McCartney with Stella there for $1 million to his foundation or charity of choice, assuming he agrees to play the festival. He ain't giving away $1 million for nothing, but you know what I mean? And so they love that idea. This is her last season. And so she wants every show to be iconic. So we're trying, and we may end up on Good Morning America too, or none of the above, you know? We'll see.
The way that you were kind of explaining to us, sort of like South by Southwest, but a little bit different.
Yeah. When you go up, see, the Radical Note Music Festival is based on 3 tent poles. One is to heal the cities. You would think that Santa Barbara, known as kind of a wealthy enclave of vacationers, you walk, last time I was there, State Street, the main drag, 50 storefronts were empty. Forever 21 gone, Nordstrom's gone, Macy's gone, the bookstore's gone. So what we're going to do is we're going to invite people from the polo fields at 8 o'clock, and at 9:30 to 1 each night, people can walk up and down State Street, and then they can they can go into any room that isn't full, whether it's Irish music or gospel or film. I'm even doing a room on music as trauma therapy. You know, there is this kind of theory that if you pan music, you know, it puts people in kind of a pre-REM state, and it relaxes them, and there's some sort of therapeutic. So each of these rooms has what I call a showrunner, or, you know, somebody. In this particular room, there's a guy named Dr. Mondo. His name is Dr. Gonzalez, and he works a lot with trauma people, sports figures, Olympians, and things like that. Great guy. And I thought, man, what a great room to have. Music as trauma therapy. Or we're doing a room on, I'm doing a room on exercise music. It's now come to pass that in 32 bar phrases, with a modulation after every 32 bars, you can get your heart rate up to an anaerobic state and achieve certain goals that you've set for yourself in that way. And we're actually going to have classes, free classes. You can go up and get your heart rate up and then go have a drink.
In the rooms on, maybe we're talking about in the Facebook application.
Am I what?
Were you talking about, are these rooms that you're talking about?
This is my music festival. It has nothing to do with
For
the,
music festival?
yeah, this has nothing to do with the live audio rooms.
Yeah, so real up and down the streets in Santa Barbara. On
Yeah,
State Street.
these are real rooms.
Got it. No rooms, because they're empty spaces. Yeah.
Right. We're going to try to rent those, you know. And early on in my festival career, I noticed that they were trying to prohibit, you know, weed and all these other things. And you should see the day after the festival, the next morning, there was, you know, everything on the floor, from syringes to joints and everything. And I thought, oh, the heck with this. I'm going to monetize it, you know. So I asked a woman who I knew was bringing stuff in, how did you get past security? How do you bring in all your stuff? And she says, I just wear a very big bra. So I thought, you know what? We're going to apply for a license, and we're going to be able to sell cannabis related products, CBD, THC, CBN, all that stuff. And so, you know, we'll have a good time. You know?
Book our hotel rooms early.
Yeah, we have, you know, our hotel, all of the essential, non-essentials are in place. We have a travel agent in Santa Barbara who really uniquely was my travel agent way before I created the festival, because they do a lot of music people, a lot of tours. So, you know, I just put them here to handle everything. And we're trying to, the challenge is Santa Barbara, for better or for worse, is a city that has a very high occupancy rate as far as hotels are concerned. And so it's going to be a challenge. The other challenge for me, of course, is I want to pay attention to the things that people talk about. Because if the music is great, but you waited in line for an hour and a half for a beer, that's what you're going to talk about. Or when you finally made it up to get that burger, the internet went out and you couldn't pay and they don't take cash. That's what we're paying attention to. So all of the things, and by the way, I run a really tight show. So an 8 o'clock show starts at 8, not 8:01. And if the artists don't abide by that, we don't pay them. And if they're contracted for a 60-minute set, I cut the power at 61. You know, if they're in the middle of something amazing, you know, I just get a text. Can we go longer? You know, see what happens. And because the whole goal here is to provide an expanded experience for the consumer. That's it. You know, it's expensive to be in Santa Barbara, so I want to make sure that we give them value. So, you know, that's it. There's going to be a huge range of ticket prices, let me tell you. So it's going to be general admission. Oh, by the way, when we do go on Ellen, everybody in the audience is going to get a general admission ticket, you know, free as our guest. you know. So we're thinking, we're trying, and it's the first of 30 shows, 30 festivals. West, we've divided the country. I've divided the country into 4 different legs. We're going to do San Diego, Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, and maybe like a Colorado or a Boise. Those are, and I want to do that. So if I can get some of these acts that charge over $1 million, maybe I can get a little break. Here's a funny story about how that's not going to happen. I wanted to get John Mayer, and I know he's $1.1 million for at least at that time. And, he brings in 15,000 people. The Santa Barbara Festival is 5,000 people. So I went to the agent and I said, so, do you think that because we're only going to have 5,000 capacity that we could get a little bit less on the fee? And her response was, no fucking way. And I said, thanks a lot for being so gentle with me. She said, you have no idea how gentle I just was. And I'm thinking, it's going to be a wild ride. So, yeah.
I'm just kind of curious. This seems like such a huge endeavor. How big is your staff?
Well,
Getting this all put together.
Right now we don't have a staff because until there's money, there is no staff. But I have been working on this for over 3 years, and people do. We have people that work. But once we get, surprisingly enough, the investors asked that same question, and so we had to put down, believe it or not, every single member of our team, or at least the department heads, and their LinkedIn, because they wanted to read about everybody. So right now we have about, I would say 30 department heads, and each one of those will probably have between 10 and 30 more people, because I have a specific group that does nothing but meet the artists when they step on the property. And they make sure that they go to every single appointment they have, whether it's the step and repeat, interviews, food, all that. Can't be late. Cannot be late. So, we've, but it gets wonky. There's an artist named Tyrese. His entourage was 24 people. And I'm thinking, where's this coming from? So they show up at one of my other festivals and they said, where's our tent? And I said, where's your tent? Who the hell are you? Where's your tent? And Tyrese actually had a golden opportunity. But anyway, one person's, I'm his dresser. I need to be close to him. And I said, dude, I am sure that guy can put on his pants without you. I know this for a fact, and I'm his logistics person. Well, what is that? And then, so I said, your tent is any seat you can find in the general admission area, because that's where your tickets are. And they obviously love me. Our toughest job on all festivals is the backstage passes. Don't you know who I am? No. The artist needs me. The artist specifically requested. Well, you're not on his list. By the way, we don't have a backstage list because secretly and privately, and please don't take offense, you don't really want to see him. You just want to drink his booze and eat his food. Yeah? I'm outraged that you would say that. And, it's really crazy. But now, since I've done this a few times, I don't care. Because they take up so much of your time, and it's just, hey, listen, they left you a free ticket. Enjoy the show. You just saved $450. Be happy. Okay. As long as we present the rules in a fashion that elevates them. One of the shows I did was called the Soul Music Festival, 6 acts a day for 3 days. It was so much fun. Those guys were so great. And as long as I presented the rules It was amazing. We had such a great time. Every one of those people were fantastic because the tour managers knew exactly what was happening. The challenge, of course, is from the time that the acts are booked to the time the show happens, we don't really know how many people have been fired from the band because the writers are always wrong. Well, he's not in the band anymore, so we don't need that gear. Well, your agent gave us this writer, this technical writer and hospitality writer. We don't do hospitality writers. We don't do the brown M&Ms and all that nonsense. This is a festival, dude. Go get your own M&Ms. You know what I mean? So it's challenging, but really a lot of fun. And at that time, the promoter of the Soul Music Festival, the guy who hired me, was an unknown commodity, and so none of the acts wanted to be paid by certified money. So I was the one that was paying everybody. I was settling up after every, and I was typically I wear shorts and t-shirts and flip-flops. This is way overdressed for me, but I had cargo shorts on. I always had at least $150,000 to $250,000 of cash in my pockets. It was hilarious, but I looked like such a dork, with this, no one would think, anyway,
Underground.
yeah, it was because it was hot. Anyway, we had a really great time, and everybody from Layla Hathaway, just so wonderfully amazing talents, and I think we're going to have that and more. I'm bringing Barbara Weathers, the girl that I told you about from Atlantic Star. She's going to come and do her thing, and a lot of other amazing acts. Our musical director is a guy named Tara Cocconi, who's currently the musical director with Josh Groban. Other people involved are the musical directors of Ariana Grande and players from Prince and Jeff Beck and you name it. We're just going to have.
I didn't know we would be. We would. Didn't know. Jeff would.
You can take your mask off.
I'm just used to wearing it, so it's just a random. It's not questions. I'm thanking you for telling us what happened with Songland and why it is. I guess they just didn't continue producing the show, or I don't know, or maybe you don't see it around here on Channel 4.
Right, it was on Channel 4, and I didn't know that the show was canceled. It should have been canceled after the first episode. How dare they? That was my response. But it proceeded with, there was 2 words that started with "Hey motherfucker, how dare you?" And those guys, I don't know why people do that to themselves.
And then
I mean, isn't it making a living in the music business tough enough?
do you have another flyer of the stuff that you're going to be doing? That you're telling us that the events that you're going to be doing.
Oh,
have a website.
yeah, I'll have all that, but right now I'm not wasting anybody's time unless there's money, because at some point you have to stop asking people to do things in the hopes that you're going to get funded because it may not come through.
Mm-hmm.
And I have too much Jewish guilt to ask people to work for free, but anyway.
Just keep watching SongNet, all our SongNet things.
Yeah, no, I
Be in
mean,
touch.
I'll come by and anytime Jimmy calls back, I'm honored, pleased to come by. So thank you.
I'm always honored for you to be here.
I would love to talk about this stuff. So if anybody wants one of these books, we can do that. Otherwise, thank you so much. Oh yeah.